Hi. Okay, so today we're going to do a character study on Cincinnatus. And when I say character study, I mean we're going to actually look at the character of him and why he was influential, considering he actually played a relatively small part in history. But his character has made him somebody that we should look at. Okay, so he was a dictator, and a dictator in Roman times doesn't mean the same thing as it is now. When we say dictator, we think of someone like Adolf Hitler. Well, for a dictator in Roman times, they had complete control, but it was because they had complete control to serve the people, and it was for a temporary time. It was only for little bits of time. It wasn't ever meant to be as somebody who was ruling for a long period of time. Um, and hold on a second. There we go. These dictators were appointed by the Senate when the country was in a time of great danger and they needed a little bit of extra help. Um, it was not during normal peace times. It was when there was something big going on and they needed someone to just take control. So in 460 BCE, there's enemies surrounding Rome. Rome is in danger. There's not anything they can do. The army is in trouble. So the Senate decides to appoint a guy named Cincinnatus as a dictator. Now, Cincinnatus he of course served in the Roman military because that's what citizens did. He was a loyal, devoted citizen. He took the livelihood of Rome, of his country, very seriously. But he wasn't a politician, he was a farmer. And actually, when the Senate messengers came to find him and tell him he had been appointed as dictator, the story goes that he was plowing his fields. He wasn't a wealthy farm owner, he wasn't a patrician, he was a guy with a small farm who actually went out and planted his own food. So what he did is he leaves his farm and he goes and he takes command of the Roman army and he defeats this enemy and just completely destroys them. And then what we would imagine that he would do would be to go back to Rome and be like, look, I did this. I am super impressive. I'm amazing. You guys should give me a whole bunch of stuff because I'm awesome. But he doesn't do that. He relinquishes his title. He says, okay, I did what I was supposed to do. I'm not a senator anymore. And he goes back to his farm. He was big on civic duty, meaning that citizens have the responsibility to do what is best for their country. Even if it's not convenient for them, they still need to look out for the good of their country. And so what he did inspired George Washington later. When George Washington was called up to be the general of the Revolutionary Army, he was working at his own farm in Virginia. He was doing his own thing. He was perfectly happy to be a farmer for the rest of his life. But his country, the revolution, called him, and he did his best. And I mean, it was obviously a pretty good best because he took this, as they say, ragtag bunch of militia soldiers and revolutionaries, and he defeated the strongest superpower in the world at the time. He served when he needed to. He was reluctant to become the president, but he did it because he knew that the country needed a strong leader and someone that they trusted. And then when it was time for him to go, he gladly gave up his title and passed it on to somebody else. George Washington is a hero, a national hero, and his inspiration came from Cincinnatus. He went, he did his duty, he did what he could for his country, and then he freely, gladly gave up his title without a need for honor, without a need for parades, or he just gave it up and went back to living his life. So this was Cincinnatus. You're going to do a writing prompt now. So make sure you read the instructions on the Google form. And I want you to think about what modern politician or hero that we could say something like this about. who is a loyal, devoted citizen, who is going to freely do his duty for the benefit of the country or the people around him or his community, for not for fame, not for glory, but just because that's the best thing to do for the country. Okay? Thank you.